We're not going to get into it. emilito's chilling. Look at him.
He's been doing this all tournament.
He's just chilled.
He's just like, yo, let me just farm on Neith.
Those scrims
Alt
last night
across the map.
took too long, man.
Sometimes get 1v1 by Panda.
He's just
good.
like, man, I picked Scardy that game, and then Panda. Well, it's the first time he met PandaCat for the first time ever, and PandaCat kind of.
I think he was a little bit surprised. I think emilitoo was a little bit caught off guard that someone is as crazy as him when it comes to wanting to fight.
Cool, calm,
and emilitoo will take those fights every single time.
So he's giggling now because next time I'm going, okay, guys, I want to fight PandaCat now. They're talking crap about me. I'm not taking hats on. Let's get on the game now.
That's when you know it's real. The turnaround.
PandaCat's there like, yeah, guys. I mean, it was really easy. Like, I don't know why you struggled. I mean, emilitoo can't play.
PandaCat's just been such a good pickup, and he's just so consistently good. And that's something you always have to look at on the difference between good teams and mediocre teams. Is that the mediocre teams have the individual skill to be as good as these top teams, they just don't do it consistently enough. And PandaCat is so consistent on every single god he brings out.
And those two together, I mean, they've been a lane partnership for a very long time. Only when Vishen was around, we saw PandaCat step away because of travel was the only reason he wasn't on that roster. And now seeing these two together again, they show the dominance. They went at it a lot of times against the Eager Boys, Zapman and Dertica back in the day too, in the Challenger Cup.
Here's one of the things about PainDeViande that not a lot of people know about, because he's kind of just become a big name in this past year ever since he's gone onto this enemy lineup, is that he used to be a hunter. He was one of the best hunters in North America for the first year of competitive Smite, all through 2013. Also went to the launch tournament as a hunter, laned with Jeff Hinla for quite some time, you know, the world champ now playing for Luminosity. And he made this switch, and it took him kind of a while to ramp up, but he still had that hunter's mindset from a year ago, so he knows exactly how he wants PandaCat to play, and also how to support his hunter player.
We saw enemy there talking about picks and bans a little bit more. Clearly, they need to get themselves ready for this next game, so because it's so important for them. They find the win here. They do manage to get a tie to face off against Paradigm here today. However, they lose this set, and the boys of Panthera and the boys of Paradigm, they'll both move on to the finals.
And all EU finals, right? Man, come on. It's got to. I need an NA team.
It's a premonition for Worlds, you know. It's just like a preview of what's going to happen at Worlds.
I need an NA team, Hindu.
You do?
I really want an NA team.
Do you want to take Panthera?
Like move them over to NA?
Yeah, do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll import them. We can import Panthera to North America. You can import Panthera,
it's fine.
They can live in my house.
It's fine. I could take any of the other EU teams and still win Worlds. It's fine. We've got
No,
Paradigm.
not even close.
You reckon?
Not even close.
You reckon?
Panthera are unmatched right now.
Picks and bans time, boys. Let's go. Enough of the stalling. They've had time to sit there and look cool on screen and blow kisses to fans and cry on screen too.
Look at that.
Ao Kuang.
I think teams have just recognized how good adapting is on this god. Like, it's... Ao Kuang is good, right? And it's something you'll have to play around if it's picked up. But adapting Ao Kuang is on another level.
I don't think any of these junglers are here today you could really give Ao Kuang safely. At all. Not one of them.
Andy, Verizial, and then...
You can't give any of these Ao Kuang and expect them not to do very well with it. Fafnir as well for the support role. You can't let that one go through at the moment too.
Especially to Pain. Pain's been pretty big on the Fafnir hype train, so... something you definitely want to take away.
As time's gone on, more and more people have recognized it too. Generally, it's down to the hammer, I want to say, more than anything else, because of that protection shred, which is getting a small nerf next patch, just to
20 at all ranks now.
Instead of 40% at max.
It's a little
which is
crazy.
Quite a lot.
It's quite a lot.
It's like a Nemesis ult.
It's getting changed.
It's a Nemesis ult on a...
It actually is... it was actually better than Nemesis ult.
That's true.
Because old Nemesis ult was 10 scaling to 50. Now it's flat 50.
Stuns, slows, reduces protections. That's why it's banned off.
It's okay. It's only a normal ability.
However, Erlang Shan also taken out. And there's the Nemesis ban from Panthera. They do respect Shattered, I should say.
I think they would expect that to be first pick there. And you can see enemy has switched over into the order side. So they'll have their multitude of options for gods here.
There's so many options, but one thing I do want to ask Adad is
Susano?
Why do we not see so much Raijin anymore? What's happened to him? He's
been banned away pretty consistently, and I think that's something that enemy is debating right now.
I mean, I've seen him go through quite a few picks and ban phases where he's not even been touched.
I think if I'm enemy, I'm really looking at the Raijin, but you also have to give up that Susano to adapting, or potentially the Thor. I mean, both are up. He can take his pick.
That guy on your screen there, Shad, he needs to have a good game this one. Struggled last set, I want to say, and it's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but as the main initiator for this team, relying on PainDeViande here, here, they really need him to have a good game, and Janus for Khaos is going to be the call.
I mean, I love Khaos' Janus. It is phenomenal. We haven't seen it so far this tournament, but for a first pick, Enemy are going into, I think, a different strategy than we're used to seeing based on this. I mean, everything's on the line at this point. If they lose this, they go home.
Now, there is one problem with the Janus up against the Susano, is Susano can use the jet stream and follow him through those portals.
I mean, he also has the Wind Siphon to pull him away from the portal, so there's a lot of options. Susano also can just go and poke him and get out, and then also make sure that he feels a little bit uncomfortable.
Enemy with 2 picks for themselves now available. Maybe they want to get themselves a bit more of a dominant support this time around in the early stages, or will they focus elsewhere?
We could see the Ravana as well. Early on to give the soul lane matchup just in favor to Marauder. We saw them play that a little bit earlier. I think it was against Paradigm that they just gave him a winning matchup, and he did a really good job of controlling it as well.
Well, there's an Athena this time
okay,
round.
We're going old school. We're going Season 2, boys.
Well, Athena's back in the meta again. I mean, PainDeViande can play this. He plays it consistently. He was one of his only gods he played, really, last year. This year he's tried to mix things up, and there's the Raijin. I was wondering where it was.
This might be a ranked dream comp for Panthera right now. Bacchus, Susano, Raijin, like, if you ever wanted some of the highest damage 3v3 core you can ask for, it's right there. And Enemy just gave it to the best 3v3 core in Smite.
And the one thing you can say there is Panthera clearly respect Verizial there. Fenrir and Bastet, man, that Bastet, they just do not want to deal with the amount of pressure he can put on with that god.
And I think that Enemy were trying to run a pick composition, or that's at the very least something Panthera thought, because Fenrir would go perfectly with the Athena and the Janus, just being able to lock down any members they wanted. Well, look at emilitoo. He's the one highlighting. Look at him laugh, too.
Should we look it in? No, it's not probably going to happen here. I mean, he hovered AMC last game as well, and we didn't see that one come out either. So don't get your hopes up too much. Although a lot of people are saying that, you know, he's underestimated right now, Anubis, for the amount of damage he can do.
He can do a lot,
especially with the buffs to his ult.
He could do a whole lot of damage, but the issue is he also stands in place while he's doing that damage. And it's going to be the Neith. So this is something that this is probably one of Panthera's favorite gods.
Same old, same old. They leave the last pick here for Dimi to be able to counter pick whatever
There's
enemy
the
pick
Batz.
up. There's Batz hovered over, and expect to see probably Raven come out here, I suspect, from Marauder.
The issue is if you go the Raven, you don't have as much guaranteed teamfight damage.
No. You hesitate there. I guess it was because of the outpush being
Yeah, I'm like,
I doubt
that's not going to happen.
Unless it's Athena solo.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Athena solo, I'll push the
Well, yeah, I mean, there's Janus as well. They're trolling. They're doing the Anubis troll to us.
Do it all the way through.
But I do like the Batz pickup instead there. And it is going to be the Raven, so just look for that dominant 1v1.
And then finally Batz, and it's back to Panthera, and I'm expecting, I mean, we could see the Xing 10 again here. It's not a problem to really do this against Raven. You sit back and farm up. Maybe you want some Wukong as well as another option.
Amaterasu, though, actually going to be looking for that kind of anti-mage with the silence in her ultimate. Also, just so good into the late game. Just able to take so much damage reflected. Also, the aura, you're able to kind of chase down targets with that movement speed.
But he's going to go with the Xing 10 one more time, is Dimi this time around. He's trying to show it off one more time that it is viable in the solo lane once more. A lot of people saw it drop off when we saw his ultimate changed and some of the changes to his kit. However, he's still viable.
And I think, so this is a twofold reason. First off, the boars are removed, which means it's not as easy to invade those. The blue buff takes a little bit longer to invade, as well as Vanguard being changed to being 10 physical protection, which is really good against those Guardian versus Warrior matchups.
Yeah, it's
also good against the minions as well.
Well, the one thing that a lot of people underestimate with Xing 10 is that raw ability. Not only is it dot damage over time that does percentage
debuff
of health,
as well,
but it also reduces damage of the targets it hits, and that's why he was so useful to so many people.
Just get that max CDR. We always see him go into 30%, you know, in his first 2 items with the boots, as well as the breastplate of valor, and just spam Furious Roar just in everyone's face. That ticking damage, like you said, the debuff as well, and it's very hard to fight into it, especially if Dimi just sticks to a carry, because then that carry can't even kill him because he's doing less damage.
And you also can't hit him in the head.
I mean, you can. You just got to hit him in like the stomach.
He's not got a head.
Got to hit him in the stomach. That's where his face is. That's
yeah,
still,
head,
still the same thing.
A face isn't.
Well,
a head,
there's his head.
Ellis?
His face is just off his head.
No, he's not got a head.
No, he does, right? He's got a helmet.
It's a helmet.
It's, you know, kind of like an aura.
Don't argue with me.
It's like an aura head.
Silly.
It's filling up the helmet. Look at it. It's glowing green.
Ahead. These guys get themselves ready for this game now. Panthera up 1-0. Panthera already qualified for tomorrow's finals. However, Enemy need to win this game. They need to win to make sure they join. Sorry, they have a chance at joining them. Otherwise, it'll be Paradigm. It'll be an all-EU final if Panthera win this game.
If I'm Enemy right now, I am screaming to fight and gank early, because the later this game goes, Panthera's composition might just be their dream composition if they could blind pick. You have one of the strongest 3v3 cores in Susano, Raijin, and Bacchus. You also have emilitoo on his Neith to where he doesn't need to rotate to be impactful, and Dimi is on his Xing where he's going to relieve, he's going to give up a little bit of pressure early and just show up and be this monster in late game team fights.
I think the only person on this team of Panthera is not happy with their pick is emilitoo, because he doesn't like playing Neith. He just does it for the good of the team, of how useful that World Weaver can be and how safe it is in lane.
And yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to win the 1v1 against PandaCat as long as PandaCat's on point when he looks to engage, which I do expect enemy to continuously try and push that dual lane aggression, because then the Neith ult isn't as useful if it's just picked off every time.
Well, iRaffer this time round on the Bacchus once again. He won't be going for the cheeky steal of the buff because he's gone for the meditation instead of the Wrath this game. What's the reason for that, do you expect?
And that's just to, fight early. And I think Panthera just want to fight with their composition. They're not too worried about looking for these early gold furies. They know that if enemy try and force a big engagement, they should win just off of base abilities.
And if Panthera do win this game as well, only EU have beaten them again for another tournament.
And it's only one game, though, so far.
I mean, still counts.
We could see the change, but a rematch against Panthera and Paradigm is going to be pretty hype if that happens.
That would be spicy. But so, we're seeing these two again in a best-of-5 scenario.
Yeah, I mean, you think of it as well, right? Enemy, even if they take this game, then it's a rematch from the semifinals at Worlds, right? Paradigm versus Enemy. And then it's a rematch from the finals.
Very interesting one from Khaos here coming out. Does he steal one of those?
I
think he gets one, and now Shattered's coming in around the back. And you can see Panthera committed heavily for that.
Oh,
they did
Dimi.
speed, blue, mids, and now Dimi is being body blocked to death here.
He's very tanky, though, and Khaos just trying to space himself appropriately. Perfect portal as well. First blood goes to Khaos.
Give him
getting
Janus,
the game started off early.
Give him Janus, because he's so good on that God is Khaos. And getting off to that early start is just going to power him through to level 5 even quicker.
That was his best God that I saw so far from just the spring split. Everything was on point with him right now. And enemy off to a really good start. Not only did the Ravana have the advantage to begin with, but now Dimi forced to use his teleport much earlier than he wants. Only level 2 right now at 1.5 minutes. And enemy also getting the pressure as well for getting Khaos that first blood.
Actually pressure in mid and on the right-hand side there. And meanwhile, the duo things, everything's pretty much even as emilitoo takes a lot of free poke there, but backflips just out of that shield wall damage.
And emilitoo just going to pop that weave as well, trying to keep the pressure on in the duo, stay alive as much as possible. Adapting, though. Going aggressive onto Khaos, and here comes Yammyn as well. The follow-up can't get the Raijin. Oh, he does over the wall, but it's not enough damage to kill. And now Yammyn's left alone, adapting bailed.
Yammyn is dead because the slow's going to hit him, and Khaos going to get himself a second kill of the game there. It was good aggression from them, but they still couldn't pick up Khaos. Those portals just came two in handy, and Shattered did the right thing and just sat whacking away, knowing there was no escape.
I don't think we've ever seen that, right? Where adapting just bails on Yammyn, and you could tell Panthera there, though, was trying to find the kill. They thought they had the damage on Khaos, but Yammyn just didn't have the levels at the point. If he was level 4, I think they had enough damage to confirm
the backflip's down for emilitoo, so he may have to use Purification here if he's not careful, but why is he just going to hold on to it there, emilitoo? Now he's actually winning that trade. He's got iRaffer coming back too, and that's just really well played from emilitoo to realize they didn't have the damage to kill him.
And look at this, though. Can we highlight over Janus? Enemy, I think, are baiting this fight and looking for Janus to all in, but they're actually going to go aggressive in the mid.
They want to make a big play for it. Now Weevil comes down straight away, adapting half health, still level 4. Going to get away. Thunder Crash from Yammyn, though. Going to force Khaos out again.
That's unfortunate. If Khaos lines up Yammyn or adapting there, they probably get the kill. The issue is the team went on Susano instead of the Raijin.
iRaffer just flopped, and now those suns rain down, but not enough mana to follow up there at the end of the day.
Meditation just kept them alive. If he had gone the Wrath there, he was 100% dead.
Good point. The flops are going to be careful from iRaffer, and that's what enemy are trying to exploit in this laning phase. And game 1 as well, they're trying to wait for iRaffer to flop in, know he's got to escape, and then turn on him.
Enemy are playing really clean right now, and it's almost like Panthera are being a little bit more aggressive than they should be. I think they were very confident in the draft and kind of thought they were going to be able to win in those early game scenarios, but they really shine once everyone's level 5 in their core, and iRaffer's just not there yet.
I know we bigged up the whole fact that, enemy played Panthera at Worlds, but this isn't the same enemy. Marauder, that was their first game ever against Panthera. Same for Shattered and same for PandaCat. They've got the iron now. They've found out what Panthera's like, and now they're like, okay, we can try and fight this.
And look at this. Marauder not playing scared at all, just trying to get vision on this blue buff. Dimi is going to be able to pick it up successfully, but that's something you always want to see, is that players are not scared when facing Panthera, because some just are.
And if they are, it causes them to be further behind.
Look at this.
Look at Pain, pressuring on his own. They don't know where the teammates are. Remember, though, Khaos is in mid lane, doesn't have his ultimate just yet, but he could come over at any time when it is available and put the pressure on, and Panthera have to respect that.
I think Shattered's ult is up in just a couple seconds as well, and we could see him rotate in, and there it goes. The Hunbat's gonna rock straight over to the speed buff. Dimi just gonna intercept him for now, trying to get the poke, and they're just trying to force this purification onto Adapting.
Well, the ward down there as well is going to allow a teleport in too. Adapting's going to get out of here as well. Weaver was used by emilitoo there, but the washing machine from Dimi's good. The drums of war and the tornado come through. iRaffer gets credit for one. Adapting gets out of the danger zone too, and now they're looking for more.
emilitoo does get turned on by Khaos, and Yammyn is isolated by himself, but Shattered doesn't want to dive the tier 2 just yet. 1-for-1 overall, and still no speed buff picked up, but Shattered, the call is out. So overall, this is going to be a win from enemy.
It's huge because look at that on the left-hand side too. You saw PandaCat swung in, took red buff for his team, then goes over to the left and pushes the whole wave out and gets some good poke off on iRaffer too.
And iRaffer now, I mean, he might be forced to use meditation if he comes back into this lane, but enemy are just winning with numbers. Every single fight we've seen so far, enemy have just had more players in the engagement.
Well, the iRaffer, a bit too aggressive for himself. They're going to have to flop away, but one thing to note as well, it's not Capri for PainDeViande this time. It's a general god. It's Athena. He can lead from the forefront by making his team follow him in.
And yeah, that's exactly what he did. You saw Pain was the one who invaded that speed, and he didn't even commit to try and get the kill or steal it away. He actually just sat there and said, Adapting, just try this. And Adapting just sat there and watched him and was forced to go back. And by the time that Adapting did commit to the speed buff, the rest of enemy was in position to follow up. Dimi almost got a really big playoff for Panthera, but Pain's shell was actually perfectly timed the second the washing machine came out.
Well, the speed is a little bit quicker in this game. 3-1 is the kills at the moment, and only 5.5 minutes into this game, approaching 6, I should say. But 3 of those kills are all on Khaos. Playing the Janus this time around. We were interested about the Agony, whether we see it again. And the Janus, well, is coming up big right now.
He's also gone into the Doom Ward build. We've seen mostly Bancrofts on his Agni playstyle, and now Khaos is just so close to finishing off his penetration boots at only 6 minutes. I mean this guy has been outstanding.
Is this abusing the fact that he got that lead early? Is this why he's gone Doom?
Yes.
I'm trying to
I mean, I think he would have went for Doom Orb anyway, just because Doom Orb is very easy to stack up on Janus because you can get between the lanes so efficiently. But now that he's got it online, and also because of the fact that he's got a 2-level lead on Yammyn, he's going to be able to just crush out the damage. We saw that Unstable Vortex hit onto the tanky targets for at least 40% of their life.
And when you go back to the beginning of the game, it was all down to Khaos and that portal on the ground at the right and Harpies at the beginning of the game that really allowed enemy to find that first kill onto the pressure onto Dimi as well. And since then, enemy been in control.
Marauder a little bit worried there about Dimi's ult, so he's just going to jump away. And actually, it's going to be a setup for Yammyn, but Yammyn going back to his back harpies for now. PandaCat just chilling as well, so Marauder's going to take this opportunity to steal away the blue.
Well, it looks like PandaCat really wanted to fight Neith there on the left-hand side, but wasn't able to find it. The blue does get taken away there by enemy, and Dimi's being looked at by 3 here. They're not going to find enough damage as the Unstable Vortex just off the mark from Khaos.
And look at this, Pain's just in the middle lane, making sure that no one can rotate. Now Dimi going to be pushed against his wall as well. Khaos nails him with the ult. The Unstable Vortex off the mark, though.
The jukes are so good from Dimi there.
Pain's dead in the mid.
Men. Is he dead?
I think he's dead. He's going to get chased down. I mean, PainDeViande was trying to slow down the rotation, but just gets picked up staying too long.
Just ult and get away, and now Adapting, giving chase to Khaos. Obviously, he's going to find that tick and jump to it. Instead, he can pull him into the danger zone where iRaffer is right now. And the stun is not going to be on the mark. The Intoxicate, however, will. And Shattered trying to answer back to Adapting, but he can't find the enhance to find the kill.
Nice use of the portal, though, that Khaos had placed down right before his death. And this is going to be an issue once again. Enemy putting so much focus onto Dimi. Like, that's just 2 games in a row where they're full committing and trying to dive towers against a very tanky target.
Well, that's the main thing about Panthera. If you do dive them and you go aggressive on one of them, they will try and answer back immediately elsewhere. I'm surprised PainDeViande got himself caught there for the most part. He had ultimate, he could have got away. I guess he just didn't expect the amount of damage that came
I mean, Pain's whole thing was he was just going to sit in the mid lane and make sure Panthera couldn't rotate while his team executed the gank over on the solo side. But the issue is that he's up against a Susano Raijin, and they just killed him.
Bursting him down. Marauder going to get his own blue buff here on the right-hand side, though. Working once again on some magical defense. Went for Pestilence last game. Do you expect to see the same here?
More than likely, just kind of reduce the passive healing coming out from the meditation from iRaffer. emilitoo has a self-heal, and Dimi, just a lot of HP 5 that does add up.
Well, they're going to pull this Gold Fury here. PandaCat starts it off, and a little bit of a crit coming through as well for the help from Shattered. Khaos on zone duty, and this should be a free Gold Fury the way of enemy. Very well executed.
Really well played. This is exactly what enemy kind of started to this is how enemies started to get known, right? Just their absurd objective control, sneaking a Gold Fury away from Panthera. They were unaware overall, and now they've actually got themselves about a 4K gold lead.
Isn't this very reminiscent of the game against Saw too? Because I mean, they went down one game to Saw early on and then came back.
And it was
game
so
two.
much better.
It's a completely different story. It looks the same way here.
It almost seemed like they just need a warm-up, and that's, you know, the sign of a team that can adapt very well to their opponents. I know Paradigm used to be like that, not so much anymore, where they would lose the first game and then come back much stronger in game 2.
They struggled a couple so far today. That's why they got 3 splits when you think about it.
True.
Overall, so it's still not gone out the window here. Pain trying to slow down iRaffer, cancels out the belch with the taunt, so we won't see any engagements for a few more seconds.
And it was actually the second game in all 3 sets?
Agreed, yeah.
Outside of Soar. Paradigm, I think, won the first game against Soar, but
mid lane,
just a little bit of
lot
warm-up
of pressure
time.
onto Khaos, who's been forced to try and run away here. Gets the ultimate out as well from Pain, but they're both going to get stunned, and Toxic comes through. World Weaver as well, and Khaos had his back to the enemy. Didn't expect the rotation coming in.
And Yammyn's looking to clean up PainDeViande as well. Oh, the
That
double
was good.
knock-up. Nowhere for him to go. Shattered is here, though.
Very
It actually
evil.
forces 2 into the tower, and PainDeViande trying to escape, but adapting does get the cleanup.
And iRaffer was so tanky already with that Vanguard online that he could take all those shots.
2
Shat
seconds.
really wants to kill, though. Not enough damage with the overhand smash to secure it.
PandaCat, though, finds the solo against
Well
emilitoo.
then.
Look at him
Look
in
at his
face
face.
as well.
Yeah.
He was not expecting that one. Adapting's made the rotation, though, and it is going to be another one-on-one. PandaCat needs the stun. 1 second, there's the ricochet, but he doesn't connect. Just off the mark, still gets the kill with the archers.
2v1 gets soloed twice. PandaCat, the god. He's the god of NA right now. He's the one thing. He's Panthera's kryptonite. Did you see that?
He is just crushing them.
He just soloed 2 world champions back to back.
And also, maybe a kill onto Yammyn here in the mid lane, but he is going to juke out Khaos' ult. Still going deep. He does get the, that extra damage, and the unstable vortex might have been enough to kill off Yammyn there. I think it was. Pin boots online, 24 stacks. It would have been real close.
I swear, North American hunters are just so good at Hou-Yi.
Met Yankee.
Met Yankee, PandaCat, both of them here today. Fantastic.
North American hunters, I think, are probably the most stacked of any role.
Well, hang on a second. The red buff being invaded, and Rafford's not happy about this. Trying to body block PainDeViande to death. The body blocks are good. He's trying to juke out the shots. Look at him. See the way he body blocks everything, but still Pain's manages to get away.
Portal?
Unstable
Portal?
vortex. Portal.
Where's the portal?
Well, there's
Chaos,
a World
where's the
Weaver.
portal? Oh my god, Chaos!
was
Where's the
hope-
portal, Chaos?
I mean, to be fair, how could he do it through that the thin wall there? He had to walk all the way.
I mean, there was a couple options for him to portal there.
Speed buff stolen away there by Marauder on the right-hand side, but now he's surrounded by 3 with PainDeViande being dead. Where's the backup? And I don't think the backup's going to be here in time. The World
Marauder.
Weaver
He's
comes
going to get
through.
picked up tier 2, and Adapting finds the kill.
Finds the kill for himself as well. Adapting picks it up for his team. 7-5 is the slash line right now at only 11.5 minutes in. We've got a bloodbath on our hands.
And, you know, enemy are not relenting. You saw PainDeViande getting caught there trying to invade a red buff on Panthera. Both are going at it non-stop.
This is a Panthera plan, though. They like bloodbaths. They like to go aggressive. They like a lot of fighting. And if they do this, they've got to be very careful that Panthera don't start running away. PandaCat, though, he still wants to fight.
No fear. He jumps straight in. Adapting, though, he could teleport to this, and 2 players are lined up, but not elects not to take the jet stream so far. Panthera are successfully battled off that tier 1 tower. Enemy still holding strong for now.
And only 1 Gold Fury gone down the way of enemies so far. It's about to spawn in about 1.5 time here as Khaos still clearing at the mid lane, trying to restack there that Doom, but he lost a few stacks on his couple of deaths.
And this feels like Panthera should have a lead, but they're actually down 3,000 gold. It's been a really good job overall. 3,500 actually, 3,200 experience. It's been a really good job by enemy just to outfarm, and we've seen so many stolen camps as well. The speed buff and the red buff.
But enemies just got to stay a little bit more disciplined now because they're getting a little bit aggressive. PandaCat's clearly feeling himself. He can feel himself all he wants as well with how well he's playing, but he's just going to watch it a little bit because we saw the aggression from him in mid, and that could have been turned on if he wasn't too careful. That leap in was very dangerous.
PandaCat is 1/3 of their lead right now. As long as PandaCat doesn't die, he's going to be much more effective than emilitoo in these fights. And we could see a TP. I think Shattered was looking for the TP onto a player to force the initiation.
The best news for enemy right now is their 2 carries have the kills. Janus and Hou-Yi, the 2 you really want them on. Yeah, you'd like to see 1 or 2 go to the Honbats in the jungle, but you want the guy with the mobility and the guy with the late game carry potential in Hou-Yi to get them.
You know, I talked a lot about just the compositions earlier on where Panthera had such a dominant 3v3, but the thing about Janus is that he has so many outplay mechanics in his kit that you can't really calculate it. And iRaffer is going to calculate that aggression, though.
So did Yammyn as well. Even he Thunder Crash back away. But PandaCat coming mid lane here.
On
the
a
tower
ward.
is very, very weak. And I think they want to group up here. And I mean, just try and force this one down. And just going to show himself in this mid lane.
Dimi's actually rotated, and I actually think enemy are looking to pick him off, but we've seen this not go in their favor anytime they try and focus out the soul laner. And instead, they're just going to be splitting off into different lanes. PainDeViande pushed up very deep by himself, though.
I'm not really seeing Khaos really alter across the map just so far. He's just kind of been holding on to that.
Really for
and
damage.
Just going close in like he is doing now, not just ulting over.
There's a Gold Fury up, and enemy have placed 4 members on the right side of the map. It doesn't look like iRaffer wants to make the call for the objective, though. Instead, he's ready for a counter engage. The second enemy goes in, and PainDeViande, he's trying to determine who he can pick off here.
Well, they're looking for the speed buff more than anything. The Thunder Crash coming off Yammyn means they've got to be defensive and adapting. Caught out of position there, has the Sanctuary and Purification, and Khaos didn't need to ult there, but he does do so, and Dimi's going to take Marauder for a ride.
Marauder still under tower here. iRaffer looking for the stun, but a great use of the portal there, and Dimi just gets chunked as well from the unstable vortex. Speed buff being stolen away for now. PainDeViande on zone duty, and I think that did go successfully to Shatter.
It did. He just managed to pick it up and walk over it for himself as well. Now enemy with that man lead of adapting being dead, swing mid lane, and this tower's on his last leg, so they could look for that, but instead PandaCat, well, he's already pulled that Gold Fury with his buddy PainDeViande.
Emilitoo's got to be absolutely perfect here, looking for the steal, but it's not going to be in time. Emilitoo does get a nice stun onto PainDeViande, and Marauder's rotating, and actually following him is going to be Yammyn.
Meditate, though, comes out for Marauder, and that was big to keep him alive there. Otherwise, he was in a lot of trouble, but the bait came through nicely. I love what Khaos did. He drops the portal, and he could have followed up on emilitoo, but the call to get out was good from the team, and they all followed the call.
The orders from the general. I mean, you gotta be consistent, and we've seen enemy kind of earlier in this game specifically get baited, trying to chase kills very deep, and that's something that happens a lot against Panthera, where you chase a kill, but Panthera mechanically are so good at juking you out and delaying that kill that their team is always there in the fight by the time you finally secure it.
Enemy just seems to get better and better when they play in opposition. Every time they face off against somebody, they work them out a little bit more each time and just manage to adapt and change things. Something that we've credited Panthera for before.
It's an intelligent team. This is a very intelligent team, right? And their mechanics have, kicked up significantly. They've really started to shine. I think Shatter needs to be a little bit more consistent. PainDeViande gonna find the dock up.
Adapting should fall down here. The portal was just on point, and you saw him use Purification and Sanctuary earlier on, so you knew it was down, and immediately enemy re-aggress with the taunt from PainDeViande. That Athena is just so important for them.
Enemy just making adapting feel uncomfortable. They're trying to force as much onto him. I think every single Fear No Evil, adapting has been in the center of it, and that's a really good job just mentally making sure to get in his head and make sure he's uncomfortable at all times.
Really surprised they're not going for this tier 1 tower yet. Instead, they're continuing to fight in the mid lane. PainDeViande a little bit too far forward. They're going to get flopped on as well as through space and time was fired. iRaffer a bit caught out of position here. Slow down. Meditate comes through, and Yammyn with the ultimate, though. He's not going to find a kill.
Oh, no!
He does on Shattered.
Barely on Shattered. The soul lanes are rotating as well. Marauder has his ultimate, but he's caught out by himself. He needs to be careful. Instead, he's going to turn onto Yammyn and just take the portal out. Khaos bailing out his soul laner there for now, but overall, the kill's dead even.
It's funny because I think when I said enemy, they need to be careful about having fights consistently with Panthera, because Panthera like that style of game. Well, what enemy are doing here is they're taking fights but then finding the objectives with it, and Panthera are actually being pulled around. Their enemies win.
This is actually a 6.5k gold lead. It doesn't feel like it because of how close the teams have been in the fights, but enemy have simply been out farming most of the game. Khaos now has his CDR online, so he's going to have those portals up so much more often.
Look at PandaCat's lead here, 2 levels, and look at the gold difference between these two too. Ricochet comes off as well from Panda and immediately leaps out just as he gets hit by that spirit arrow.
He also has no wards on the left side of the map, so he can't really play aggressively when he doesn't know where adapting or Yammyn are.
He's got a 1,500 gold lead.
I mean, he's just been outplaying everyone right now, 3-0, and now Dimi gonna go for a spin, plucks PainDeViande deep into his own jungle, but he's by himself.
And now going to get taunted in as well, and he's at half health. The portal's good from Khaos too for the follow-up, but I don't think Marauder wants to continue chasing. Looking at iRaffer and Yammyn round the corner.
PandaCat here gonna get aggressed onto. Early Purification does find the Wind Siphon. And honestly, with Athena on top of him, they could look to turn this, but Adapting knows it as well, and he's just going to bail.
Well, he's still got the speed buff on the right-hand side.
Perfectly read.
Going in as well with Athena. Weevil through space and time connects. Sanctuary from Yammyn will keep him alive.
The body block
is still going in. Marauder can't find the kill in time, but he does right at the end. Meanwhile, left-hand side, still some pressure onto emilitoo. 2v1 backflips.
What?
Away from the danger.
What was that? Marauder still fighting right now. He's got a Neith ult on top of him as well. Khaos trying to support, but with Adapting there, he's got to bail. PandaCat does pick up emilitoo on the left-hand side, but Marauder should fall here unless Khaos has a well-timed portal here in a couple seconds.
The is going to help him out, but Adapting still wants the kill.
And he gets it.
Oh, that portal from Khaos
Khaos
was great, but Khaos maybe looked at instead here. 3 members coming at him, and Khaos like, well, I saved my teammate and lose my own life.
Oh, he was so slow on the purification. If he found that earlier, he probably would have got out or maybe been able to turn on Adapting. So unfortunate, but back to that fight in the mid lane. So the blink in from Shattered, and before the Thunder Crash even comes out, Shattered has jumped to where he knew Yammyn would land, and then goes the Fear No Evil. Shattered has to bail though, doesn't have enough damage to burst, and then Dimi body blocks the portal, so he takes 3 extra tower shots and ends up dying.
It was a great play from Shattered though, and we said like he needs to step up this game. He's had a bit of a rough tournament so far here, but that was a really good play from him coming out. He's still level 16 though, 2 level lead over Adapting after all the focus that's been invested into him, but he's still only 1, 2, and 6.
He's, I mean, right now, as a Hun Batz, there's a lot of mechanical plays you can make with that, you know, kind of monkey teleport. But as long as you still have your ultimate and don't get caught or picked off in a bad spot, you're fine. You still have one of the best team fighting ults in the game. Well, maybe the best.
We're still at a kill a minute so far this game. There's about 7,000 gold lead here for Enemy in game 2. They need this game to tie things up. If they tie here, then it means they play Paradigm for that final spot in the final tomorrow to face Panthera yet again.
And Enemy are looking very good right now. Almost 8,000 gold in the lead, just shy of it. They're going to be able to siege up this tier 1 on right. And they have a very large lead after only taking 2 towers, which is something to note. And in the meantime, look at this. They're actually going to draw all of Panthera over to the right-hand side, and PandaCat's going to be able to solo this out unless emilitoo has something to say.
And he knows about it, so emilitoo's just going to look at him for the time. And Panda's still doing this, though. He does have an Athena for backup if he needs it to dunk in, and I think that's what the plan seems to be here. Don't forget, they've also got a Janus.
Now, though.
They also have a Janus. Remember that one. And Panda, ooh, I thought he was going to go all in. Then I was like, I don't know what that was about. There it is. Through space and time. But meanwhile, in mid, look at this. Enemy charging in onto Panthera, forcing them back, and PandaCat gets Gold Fury for free. 10k
gold lead. Oh, emilitoo's backflip is down, and PainDeViande is probably looking for the setup. But with the rest of Panthera around the corner, doesn't want to dash in just yet, trying to hold it.
Good. This is a tense game.
Taunts up in 2 seconds. Pain's looking for it.
It's so funny to see there's a fact that Panthera do not need to win this game, but they're trying to get the EU boys through to the final instead. Maybe their hopes are going to have to rest on themselves, but Pain is isolated. They full one-motor, but he's still alive.
And he's actually going to get out for now. He is going to get isolated by Dimi in the back time. Oh no, Dimi finds 2, and now it's PandaCat very low as well. Shattered's come in. He's got a 4-man Fear No Evil trying to line up the kill on Adapting, but he's juked out completely.
Shad does get out, and Marauder picks up Yammyn, but will go down in trade as well. 3 for 1 in favor of Panthera there. The Gold Fury being down means that Panthera, well, the only way they can answer back here is either looking at the Fire Giant or looking at towers.
They're going to look at the towers for now. Shattered's still hanging around, but he knows he has to get out, and it is going to be the tier 1 uncontested. Really great ultimate from Shattered, but by then, Khaos had already been picked off. PandaCat was forced to half health and was trying to jump away, and it was very unfortunate that Pain kind of was in the position he was.
Well, this is a tier 2 tower that's being sieged here, and PandaCat going to go up for the big plays with a ricochet, not going to find it, instead has to leap away from the danger, but Raffa's following up the flop as is Adapting. Athena's coming back in, and the dunk kills Adapting. PandaCat stands strong, Raffa falls down, and the General, sir, we salute you. He gets the double.
13 to 13 and kills. Here comes the Janus ult as well. This could be a Fire Giant call. You could see the whole team rotating over there. PainDeViande sitting in mid. He spotted out emilitoo. No one's here to follow up, and I think he's just trying to burn relics.
No, he's slowing them down.
Of it.
But Dimi is back with that teleport. Wise of him to 2, so he knows the Fire Giant could be an issue, so he has to turn up and defend it. Ethereal Staff online for him once again, working on the Spirit Robe as well, which will give him a little bit more cooldown reduction.
And now comes the ward battle and kind of this dance around Fire Giant. Whoa, Enemy has started it up. I mean, all 5 members are here, Yammyn and Raffer and Adapting are still down.
Yammyn has ultimate here, and that could be a big ult.
Dimi's got ult.
Shattered here as well. There's the Fire Giant dropping down, and it goes the way of Enemy.
PandaCat also managing to take out Dimi. They only lose Shattered forward. Huge win for enemy. The kills are still even, but the gold lead and now the Fire Giant in hand. Enemy are looking pretty damn good to split this.
Really, really good position for them to be in, especially with only tier 2 towers remaining for them to shred down here as well. That's going to be an additional 1,500 gold in the coffers for them. Pick up the red buff here. Gold Fury currently down as well. How much gold in hand do they currently have here on the side of enemy? Let's have a look. They're probably going to take a trip back to base any moment.
Not too much, though. 1,400 on a couple members there. And it's really about if they can finish any big items. I think Khaos can buy a decent tier 2, probably looking to build into that Rod of Tahuti next, which is going to massively increase his damage. But just going back to the damage charts right now, PandaCat actually leading the way for enemy. He's been such an integral part of this team.
Yeah, and the big important thing of that really was the 1v1 against emilitoo and forcing rotations. I mean, him happy to box, happy to fight. You can't give some of these North Americans how you, man. They know how to play it.
emilitoo has the most damage in the game, but he's 3 levels down right now.
Well, that just shows the credit of the World Weaver coming through in his position for the most part. Obviously, the 1v1 did not go in his favor, but still involved in 10 kills.
And now here, as the siege is going to happen, enemy, they need to find a split here. Just trying to clean out the towers for now. With the gold in hand, they're all going to be backing.
With the Fire Giant on 4 members right now, they're going to head back to base here, but let's have a quick listen into enemy and see what their plans are heading forward, looking for the end.
He's running away, boy.
Let me back and buy.
Yeah, I think I might.
Alright, we're
Okay, that's my
Scoop is
spirit.
5
Alright,
minutes.
let's
Scoop is 5
fucking
minutes.
go.
We are really fucking far ahead.
Yeah, we're
pushing
crazy
way
ahead.
Yo, their speed just, that's fine. Their
Pushing
speed's
way
on
open, right?
Care right, care right.
So come on, guys.
Okay,
Let's finish this.
Like,
We have
literally.
fire, remember that, fire.
Right
30
in the
seconds,
Phoenixes,
let's
right in Phoenixes.
Group
Don't
up,
be
push
afraid
right.
of shit, guys. Yo, adapting, no
about
defense.
actions? You guys
Zero
have
Push left,
defense.
go push left. You have to open
Yeah.
it.
No,
You guys
down
heard?
for 40, down for 40.
Yeah,
That's
we
fine,
can
you
blow
got
that
that.
thing up.
Zero
Yeah,
defense
yeah.
on adapting. If you get a taunt, I can literally one-shot him. I
And
have
he's
full
like,
crit
he's not really
Yeah.
useful, honestly.
And they have no
That's
late game, bro. They have Neith,
I have
Susano,
yeah.
Xing. Just
There's like
taunt
he's
Xing.
unsaving now.
Taunt Xing right now, I'll kill him too.
Yeah,
He
you
has not
play,
not so much
guys,
physical.
play for my beats. Play for beats.
Alright.
Play for me getting beats a ton.
Yeah,
Down here?
don't waste like big old
We
Remember-
kill
remember.
Xing, I'm pretty
They have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
wards here.
If
They
you
have no
dash
wards.
in
Do
and taunt
we
him,
have
then-
every active up? Do we have every active
TV
up?
up in
Everything's
15.
up.
Yo, can you taunt Xing? I mean, maybe we poke him down.
Taunt?
Yo,
Poke,
TV
poke,
down for
poke,
15,
don't
guys.
commit, don't commit. Oh my god.
No, he's
Oh
dead.
my god,
What the fuck
nice.
happened? Where'd he go?
I told- I have crit, dude. I
So
told
reset,
you.
reset. Wait for
I
Todd.
have
Wait
Yo,
for
nice
Todd. Wait for
Emperor's armor.
Todd.
Wait, what is
Wait
that?
for Todd.
Wait. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Emperor's for
Yo,
the...
TV
Yo,
down for
son of
3.
Iris.
TV down for 2.
No, just
I
push
have
right, guys.
ulti.
Yeah, push
yo,
up.
yo, I
Go
have
to push
ulti.
up, we push right.
Yeah.
Who
Who
has
has
that
that armor?
No, it's free,
He's just pushing mid.
No,
Play
yo,
for-
I
play
can
for-
ward if you want to TP.
Alright, just let me know. Just
Not yet,
call.
not yet, not yet,
Just
not yet.
call.
Tom Bacchus, Tom Bacchus.
Todd, Bacchus here. Poke. Reset.
Reset.
Susano's gonna be behind. Susano's gonna be behind.
No, he's
Never mind. Keep pushing that.
He's
Yo,
pushing
yo,
mid.
yo,
He's
yo,
pushing mid.
Go, go, go,
Yo,
go,
Yo,
go.
I'm
Come
resetting,
in,
I'm resetting.
go.
I'm resetting.
No, we need
Getting
it.
space on my own.
No, just take it. Take
Poke.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
got left, guys, I got left.
Back up.
Shell.
Okay,
Shell.
okay.
On me. Let me go back in.
Yo, I can
Keep
keep
going left. Go left. Yo, we fuck. On me. Careful. Josh.
Yeah, I'm looking
Just
around.
go.
Go.
Come on. On me. Okay, raise.
Yeah, look underneath, look underneath.
On me. Hop.
Yeah.
I'm
Portal
okay.
free, go, run.
Need portal.
Kill Bacchus. Stun him. Nice.
Yeah.
Yo,
Let me get it.
Careful.
I'm taking. I'm in.
No, I'm taking.
Okay.
Yo, that's
Holy
shit.
It's fine.
I'm coming.
Just take Phoenix.
We can kill
I'm on
them.
Phoenix.
Take it.
Phoenix. It's all
Stun
you
him.
right
Get him.
Nice
Nice.
job.
Nice.
Phoenix.
Yo, we can
Just take Phoenix.
Yeah, we
I'm
can.
dead, I'm dead.
No, you're not.
Fine.
Phoenix.
No,
No,
no.
He turned on you. Scream. Go.
Send him.
Turn. Go.
Put him,
Dimi,
put him.
guys. What the fuck? Go.
End the game.
On the game, guys.
Ultimate 20 seconds.
Come.
Play around
No,
keeps.
we can't.
Use
We don't have
keeps.
to.
No, we have
It's
to.
fine,
it's fine.
Just
Back.
kidding.
Marauder, what's up?
You're dead, Marauder, right? No,
Yeah,
just
no,
keep-
yeah.
keep.
Back and gold. Back gold.
Okay.
Go.
Back and go.
Nice.
Doesn't matter.
Boys.
We just won the game. Good job.
Yeah, we did.
There you have it, boys and girls. You saw exactly what enemy's game plan was, and it worked out spectacularly. A little bit messy on the comms, but it's very excited comms.
It seemed like a lot of confusion there on that Phoenix Siege, but we heard PandaCat taunt Dimi, I kill him.
And he did.
that's exactly what happened.
And he did.
Completely obliterated. Dimi had zero hope, and that's just the lack of magical defense he has. Khaos shredding through the Xing
Well, there was one little issue there that I saw in the enemy comms, and it could have cost them big as well, because for a minute I'm like, oh no, because they've been making different calls. Each one like, I'm going back, guys.
Yeah,
no initiate. I'm going back, guys. No initiate.
Khaos
It's
was
like-
calling his reset, and Pain's just fight the
In
whole
the end,
time.
though, it works out big for enemy. They managed to really use that last fire regen to their advantage. They even hold the Phoenix in mid lane as well, where Shotted went back to make sure Adapting did not pick that one up as well. So they get 2 Phoenixes out of that thanks to Marauder's split push. And now with the Fire Giant respawn, it's Panthera's last stand here to try and get the boys through.
iRaffer actually jumps in place there. Marauder still in the front line, but iRaffer's poked down and Khaos looking for the big play. Oh, but here comes the spin to win, forcing Marauder out of the fight.
But the Typhoon came through as well from Susano, but emilitoo out of position and alone goes down. Yammyn now surrounded by 5 members of North America. Yammyn returns 1 kill, but he'll go down and trade himself. Marauder goes onto a killing spree. Meanwhile, the Titan is falling. Enemy are going to tie things up here. This is going to be a split, Adonis.
Oh,
we got a bonus game.
Marauder here. He's got Athena on top of him. His general is here to clean up. An enemy coming into this tournament, it was going to be a really hard road in this last set. Facing off against Panthera, they needed at least one win, and in game 2, they found it.
I mean, Enemy, Worlds could not find a game against them, but the new roster of Enemy, well, they tied it up.
And that means we will have one final match for the day for everyone at home. Ooh. Panthera already had enough points. They've got 5 in total. They'll be advancing on into the Epsilon Invitational Finals tomorrow. However, Paradigm and Enemy still tied in points, and they split earlier in the day.
They did.
So no one has the head-to-head win.
Nope.
We've got one final match between them to see who's going to be facing off against Panthera in that best of 5.
And it's EU versus NA again. They split already. At Worlds, Paradigm lost out to Enemy there, but Enemy, this time round, different story. They both took a game of Panthera today, and it's one of the nice things you can say.
I was really surprised. I saw Panthera's comp, and I called GG, honestly, from the beginning of picks and bans.
Be honest.
But the Janus on Khaos was just something they didn't expect, and we saw that very early kill onto Dimi. Marauder was able to keep control and contain him, and then Shattered on that Hun Batz. We talk about how good Susano is, but Shattered's whole job was to press forward the second Susano was in a team fight.
Completely agree. Khaos had a fantastic start to the game, but not only him. I mean, for me, PandaCat had a fantastic game too. That whole Yi play, he 2v1'd one after the other.
It was 1v1.
Oh, it was 2 1v1s.
Twice after.
2 1v1s, and he had like 100 mana left for the second 1v1. Seriously?
He had less than 100 health as well, and Adapting was fighting him after he had first burned his cooldowns on emilitoo, and just coming up big there.
Really, really good play from all the Eager boys there. They do tie it up. They will face Paradigm tonight in a best of 1. Just so you guys know, 1 game decides it all. However, one of those members of Enemy, they're going to move on for that game, and we're going to head over to F.Dot and PandaCat for a little bit of an interview.
All right, they couldn't figure it out. How many times did you wind up on the better side of a 1v1?
Every time.
Exactly. That's what I've come to expect. I mean, we haven't really seen too much of you on the screen, so I'm glad we get to see you, PandaCat. You've been around the SPL. We always mention the Legion of Carrots and everything, but this time it's a little bit different. Talk to me about the difference of Enemy, you being on Enemy now versus your previous experience in the SPL.
On Legion, things weren't as serious. I mean, we didn't get along as well. There were some problems with teams. There wasn't as much synergy. After Pain invited me to Enemy, I mean, I'm playing not with 5 or 4 teammates. I'm playing with 4 of my best friends that I've made in SMITE. I mean, there's nothing that stops us. The synergy is crazy. It's so much fun playing with these guys. It's a better and a different experience for my first time.
And I mean, you look incredibly comfortable out there. It's clear that there's something working out right, and you certainly brought it together. So you guys are performing fantastically. And today, it's been a long day, but the camaraderie between you guys really means something. You're heading into another best of 1 match. How are you feeling going into this one?
Man, I'm tired of playing, but we played Paradigm earlier today. They're definitely a great team, but I think with the momentum that we just got from beating the #1 EU team in the world, we can definitely take them.
Do you think that you are the best team in the world?
Of course. We did beat the #1 EU team, making us the #1 NA team because we're the only NA team to beat them.
There you go, PandaCat, feeling very, very confident. Now, I wanted to ask you about some of the specific plays. I usually like to bring that out, but honestly, my notebook was just too filled. So I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite play that you made? Because you put on a show.
All right, I think my favorite play was when I wanted to box Emmy, and then I ended up taking him to his tower, and I hit this bounce, and the bounce hit off of his tower, and it triple bounced him randomly. I was very surprised, and then I got ganked by Adapting, but he was so low. I ended up picking out the 2 kills and getting the kills for my team, and we just went off of that.
That's something that we've honestly come to expect out of you, PandaCat, and what you've been able to do with this squad. Everybody always mentions coming down from the top, PainDeViande really leading the charge and everything. How do you work together and fit into that unit as part of the squad?
Pain calls it, and I do it. That's basically it.
Sometimes it's just that simple. You've done fantastic. Anything you want to say before we let you go?
Shout-outs to all the enemy fans. We are the underdogs of the season, but we were the first NA team to beat SMITE Epsilon, or Panthera, sorry. And shout-outs to all my friends and family for watching, and shout-outs to Enemy for being a great sponsor.
Sweet deal. That's PandaCat. And we'll catch you in just a little bit for the final conclusion of day number 1. It's going to be Enemy versus Paradigm.